Hello there. This is going to be a Royal Guard special, ladies and gentlemen. Only one Kenobi here, only one. This is the figure I want to review, and I want to just apologise. I was going to do a video straight after my other one on Rex, and also the one before that, where I was telling you all about my entrance, should we say, into 6-inch collecting. I'm not going to go crazy because I ain't got the money to be spending it on everything that comes out, but certainly when there's deals like this for £11, that was awesome. So that was on the toyshop.com, which is the Entertainer toy shop website. But I did go on recently, and I think that, well, I say recently, it was yesterday, I think, and he was coming up as out of stock now, but he might come back, and Rex was as well. But anyway, keep an eye on that. Some good deals at the Entertainer. You're best going into a shop, actually, because they've got stuff hanging on the pegs that isn't even on the website. So this video is going to be a Royal Guard special. Obviously going to be reviewing that. Stay tuned. I'm going to open him up. But why not just tie it into my favourite stuff, which is 3 3/4 inch, of course. That is my favourite scale, I'd have to say, most definitely. And my favourite area of that collection, or collecting, is the vintage collection. So I will show you this very quickly. The vintage collection figure obviously came with soft goods, and it's, firstly, just, I've said it before and I'll say again, an amazing card back. It isn't the exact card back that was in the 80s. It is a superior update, so well done for that, Hasbro. Traditionalists might not like it because it isn't the exact card back that was in the 1980s, but it is a pretty darn good equivalent, or an improvement. But so that's a really good thing. And also the figure inside with the soft goods echoes strongly the 1980s Royal Guard figure, and I like that. Soft goods is always good for, you know, articulation. Before I show you him, well, I've got him in my hand, I might as well tell you now. I thought I'd show you this. This is a figure I did review recently as well. Speaking of the Royal Guard, this is an awesome figure. It shows the power of hard goods, you see. You can't beat a little bit of moulding and sculpting to give you that kind of, that screen accuracy there is awesome. I now want another one of this type of Royal Guard because he looks so good. You always need two, you know, to keep the symmetry going. And then this one here, of course, the Black Series 3 3/4 inch 3.75 figure, which is a repack of this figure, the VC 105, except for one thing: the texture of the cape is different on this than it was in that. This one here, if you can see it on camera, is slightly more woolly, fluffy, should we say, than the one that they put onto the Black Series one. I think this one's better because it falls slightly better. This one, you could tell, might bobble if it was played with or touched too much, but this one looks great. And I have to say that I think that I've seen some reviews on this guy here, this 6-inch one, and everyone says how the robe falls really nicely on the figure. That's probably something to do with the size of it, because he's bigger, a bit more sort of weight or whatever to it. But anyway, that's a great figure, very nice. But anyway, enough about that. It's all about this guy today. As I say, I'm going to be taking about the packaging, but I tell you something, folks. I said it in my last video, and I'm going to say it again. I'm buying these to open, obviously, but when I'm getting them home, because of this thing here, bear with me, I'm bringing stuff home, I'm putting it on these pegs before I review it, and I'm not opening it because it looks just great on the pegs. So the only thing in the world I keep carded is my vintage collection. This stuff, I'm going to open it eventually. As I say, I'm struggling to open it because I'm getting it and I'm thinking it looks really nice. One in particular looks really nice, this Royal Guard, because I don't know if it's because of the redness of the packaging of that line of the vintage of these Black Series, but he looks really nice in there, so I can understand why and if some collectors would be keeping these carded, although really, ultimately, these are the best things carded, in my opinion, of course, and in a lot of collectors' opinions. The vintage stuff is just awesome on card back because it's just the way it is. But yeah, the Black Series has changed a lot over the years, the packaging design. It started with the orange card, which did get scrutinised quite heavily for being boring, followed by the TIE Fighter line, which is the blue stripe line. And then it sort of, more recently, ended with the sort of the box packaging, which looks nice. Still a bit dull, nothing in comparison to that. But it kind of has that trendy, sleek kind of, I don't know, the matte black finish with the red. Kind of cool, so I can understand, as I say, why people would keep it carded. I'm not, I'm going to open it, but it just, because of the red guard and his colour being red, it just looks even better. Sorry about the light shining off the case, you can't really, doesn't do it justice really, but anyway. I just thought I'd share that with you, but I've been wrestling with a few of them. I've been keeping them and not opening them, and because of that goddamn pegboard. But now he's going to be opened, so if you stay tuned, let's get him out of his case and see how good he is. Bear with me one moment, folks. Welcome, young Skywalker. I have been expecting you. You no longer need those. Guards, leave us. And off they go. They don't speak, they don't do much in the movie except for looking amazing in the picture of The Return of the Jedi 1983. They are the Royal Guard. Before I talk about how amazing the figure is, I just wanted to talk to you about, well, you can see how amazing the figure is. Awesome. Really good. I just suggest you go and get one to see how good it is. And the robe does fall very nicely, as people have said in other reviews. Victoria's Cantina did a really good review of this figure. Any of them do, you know, Fly Guy. I don't consider myself a proper reviewer. I do review figures. I like to talk about the future of certain lines like the vintage collection. But I'm more interested in Star Wars as a whole. But these guys are so popular with people, and that's probably due to the massive amount of mystique around them. I've got to say this now, you can't take the helmet off of this guy, which is a good thing. I know that you can take the helmet off. This is the one gripe I've got with this 3 3/4 inch figure. You can take his helmet off, and underneath you get a guy with a beard. Brown hair and a beard, and I'm sure that's got some relevance to people who know about the comics or whatever. So I'll show you what I'm talking about when I'm speaking about it. As I say, take his helmet off and there's a guy with a beard underneath the helmet, and I'm sure that I think he ties into some sort of comic, Crimson Empire or something like that. But for me, because these guys never take their helmets off in the movie, and they are literally shrouded creatures that just sort of surround the Emperor, they look pretty badass. And that's all you really want to know. The mystery leaves it open for the audience's interpretation of what and who they are and what they can do. There is a deleted scene where these guys get primed and ready to attack. Moff Jared's involved in a scene with Vader, and these guys actually use these force pikes, getting ready to attack. I think they were about to attack Vader, actually. But I'm glad they cut that out of the film. That brings me to the Praetorian Guard from The Last Jedi. Now, those guys are slightly more aggressive right from the get-go. There's a little bit of an altercation between Kylo Ren and Snoke, and the Praetorian Guard start to flex their stuff and get primed to attack. And then, of course, you do see them in a massive all-out brawl with Rey and Kylo. Whereas these guys, you don't see them doing that. It's just like, you just leave it to your imagination. You just know that they're there for a reason, and they are elite stormtroopers. Like Hitler's SS at his side, I suppose one could say that. And it was great to see them in Rogue One as well. I really like that. The fact that you could see, they're like guardians of the Sith family. Always two there are, no more, no less. And obviously they aren't just there to guard the Emperor, they're there to guard the Emperor's apprentice. And when Vader is at his most vulnerable, he is guarded by two of these in his bacta tank, which was great. I loved that. So yeah, I'm dotting around all over the place here. I just didn't mention before that this guy comes from the 3-pack, The Return of the Jedi, where you get that amazing Emperor figure, you get a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight outfit, and then one of these guys, of which I'd love to get another one, as I said before, to keep things symmetrical. But that's an awesome figure. I didn't say it, I just wanted to tell you where we came from. And that's that really. I think I might put this back on here so I can show you some of the features. As you can see, I've put the fingers pointing down there. That's the only way I could get the force pike into his hand. But that doesn't matter. It fits snugly in enough. And what I'll do is I'll lift his cape, as I'm sure you're dying to know what's underneath here. And it is this awesome armour that I've seen people reviewing, and they look at it and yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? It's just like, they're just stormtroopers, aren't they? Crimson coloured stormtroopers with all that amazing padding. Have you got the articulation here? See that double jointed knee, the ball jointed ankles there. And then you've got it's just amazing articulation, ball jointed elbows, hinged wrist. I'm glad you can't take that off. I like the mystique. There's the pistol that you might have seen in the packaging. It's tiny in comparison to any other weapon he's got. It's always good to have not much for a good blast at your side, kid. And then, of course, the Force Pike there. And as I said in that deleted scene, you might have seen what these things can do. I guess they've just got energy on the end of them. I don't know how they work. But it's a great figure. I'm so glad that I have one because they're just great. Who doesn't like the Royal Guard? Who doesn't like the Royal Guard? Let yourself be known in the comments if you're somebody who doesn't like these guys, because you are insane. You can't be a proper Star Wars fan if you don't like the Royal Guard. Brilliant. So there you go. I don't think there's anything more I can really say about these guys, other than that's an awesome figure. Dangerously enough, it's, as I say, it's another thing that's going to get me into the 6-inch line, probably. When I say that, I just mean it just shows that it's a great quality. I like it a lot, and I'll be looking out for other good characters like this, because they will definitely have a place on my collection wall, most definitely. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.